Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th Static GK compilation by GKToday. In case you're all caught up on our last set of quizzes, this video will help you revise. In case you missed any of them, this should help you catch up. I'm Ritrisha from GKToday and let us begin. Mars appears red because of the presence of which of the following compounds on its surface. Mars is known as the red planet because it looks red from Earth. The reddish color comes from the high concentration of iron oxide compounds, which is essentially rust, in the rocks of the Martian surface. Who among the following was the immediate successor of Guru Nanak? The correct answer is Guru Angad. Guru Angad was the second of the 10 Sikh Gurus. He was born in a Hindu family with the birth name as Lena in the village of Harike in northwest Indian subcontinent. Surdas was a disciple of which among the following? The correct answer is Vallabhacharya, who is also known as Vallabha and was a Hindu theologian and philosopher who founded the Krishna-centered Pushti sect of Vaishnavism in the Braj region of India and the philosophy of Shuddha Advaita. During the reign of Devaraya II, which of the following famous temples were built in Vijayanagar Empire? The correct answer is Hazara. Hazara Rama Temple in Hampi is an important shrine. It was built in the early part of the 15th century by the then king of Vijayanagar, Devaraya II. It was originally built only as a sanctum, a pillared hall and a Ardha Mandapa. Later, the temple structure was renovated to add an open porch and beautiful pillars. In which year Raja Ram Mohan Roy established the Atya Sabha, a precursor in the socio-religious reforms in Bengal. Atya Sabha was a philosophical discussion circle in India. The association was started by Ram Mohan Roy in 1815 in Kolkata. They used to conduct debate and discussion sessions on philosophical topics and also used to promote free and collective thinking and social reforms. Treaty of Yandabu was signed after which among the following? The Treaty of Yandabu was the peace treaty signed on 24th February 1826 that ended the First Anglo-Burmese War. The treaty was signed by General Sir Archibald Campbell on the British side and the governor of Legaing, Mahaminhawquathane, from Burmese side. Which among the following don't come under the purview of right to education? The correct answer is madrasas. The Right to Education or RTE Act is not applicable to aided or unaided minority schools as per the Supreme Court ruling of 6th May 2014. Although the RTE Act is constitutionally valid, according to the Supreme Court, such schools cannot be obligated to reserve 25% of seats for students from socially and economically weaker sections of the society. In which state is Jongsong Peak located? Jongsong Peak is a mountain in the Janak section of the Himalayas. Jongsong Summit is on tri-junction of India, Nepal and China in the state of Sikkim. The growers of which among the following commodities in India are awarded with Professor K. M. Chandi Memorial Award in India? The correct answer is rubber. The Rubber Board of India, located in Kottayam, established by Rubber Act, has decided to honor the best rubber growers with Professor K. M. Chandi Memorial Award. The Peninsula Shield Force is active in which region of our planet? The Peninsula Shield Force is a military site of the Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC, which intends to deter and respond to military aggression against any of the GCC member countries, which are Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. So the correct answer is Middle East. The correct answer is Malik Muhammad Jaisi. Padmavat is an epic poem written in 1540 by Sufi poet Malik Muhammad Jaisi. It is the oldest extant text among the important works in Awadhi. With all the chaos surrounding this in the recent years, you all are probably aware it is a famous piece of Sufi literature from the period. It relates an allegorical fictional story about the Delhi Sultan Alauddin Khilji's desire for the titular Padmavati, the Queen of Chittor. Which among the following travelers has recorded his experiences in Kitabi Rehla? The correct answer is Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was an Arab traveler and adventurer from Morocco. His book is a primary source of the history of the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It throws light on the socio-political condition of his times. With which among the following branches of mathematics Salva Sutras are related? The Salva Sutras are sutra texts belonging to the Srota ritual and containing geometry related to fire altar construction. The Salva Sutras are part of the larger corpus of texts called the Shrota Sutras, considered to be the appendices to the Vedas. They are the only sources of knowledge of Indian mathematics from the Vedic period. The sutras contain discussion and non-axiomatic demonstrations of cases of the Pythagorean theorem and Pythagorean triples. They also oversee the construction of geometric shapes such as squares and rectangles. So the correct answer is geometry. Which among the following Mughal painters is credited for painting Siberian crane and the dodo for the first time? The correct answer is Ustad Mansoor. Ustad Mansoor, as a painter, started his career during the last few years of Akbar's reign as a minor painter. However, later he flourished during the time of Jahangir. He was a leading painter in Emperor Jahangir's court who was famous for depicting plants and animals. Most important paintings were of Siberian crane and dodo. The latter was an important source of reference for zoologists till date. The Siberian crane painted on paper is highly intricate, showing the wrinkles on the bear's skin, the legs, and the small feathers stuck to the claw. Which among the following had an objective of introducing the self-governing institutions to India? The correct answer is Montfort reforms. The Montfort reforms or Montagu-Chelmsford reforms were introduced by the British colonial government to introduce self-governing institutions gradually to India. The reforms were outlined in the Montagu-Chelmsford Report in 1918 and formed the basis of the Government of India Act 1990. Which among the following is the year of famous Queen Victoria's proclamation assuming the Government of India? On November 1, 1858, Lord Canning sent forth the royal proclamation in the Grand Darbar at Allahabad, via which Queen Victoria intimated that she had assumed the direct government of India. This proclamation also set forth the principles on the basis of which India was to be governed in future and the British policy towards people of British Indian territories and princes. So the correct answer is 1858. For reforms in which among the following Hattock Commission was established? The correct answer is education. The committee was appointed to survey the growth of education in British India. In 1929, the committee submitted its report. The Hattock Committee had concentrated its attention more on primary and secondary education and less on university education. However, the committee gave some important suggestions for the university stage as well. Fraser Commission was established for reforms in which among the following in 1902. In 1902, a police commission was established for the police reforms under Sir Andrew Fraser and Lord Curzon, and it got much success in police intelligence work. So the correct answer is police. Who among the following was the Viceroy of India at the time of Partition of Bengal in 1905? The decision to effect the Partition of Bengal was announced on 19 July 1905 by the Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon. The partition took place on 16 October 1905 and separated the largely Muslim eastern areas from the largely Hindu western areas. In order to appease Bengali sentiment, Bengal was reunited by Lord Hadinge in 1911 in response to the Swadeshi movement's riots in protest against the policy and the growing belief among Hindus that East Bengal would have its own codes and policies. At which among the following places the Muslim League was founded in 1906? In December of 1906, All India Muslim League was set up under the leadership of Aga Khan, Nawab Salimullah Khan of Dhaka, and Nawab Mohsinul Mulk at Dhaka. So the correct answer is Dhaka. The League supported the Partition of Bengal and opposed the Swadeshi movement and demanded the special safeguards for its community and separate electorate of Muslims. Bhandi was a chief secretary of which among the following Indian kings? Bhandi was a leading noble of Kannauj, and on advice of political leaders of Kannauj, he offered the crown of Kannauj to Harsha after the death of Grahavarmana. Bhandi was later described as one of the chief officers of Harsha. So the correct answer is Harshavardhan. In Sangam age, the term Pillai was used for which among the following? Sangam period is the period of history of ancient Tamil Nadu and Kerala, spanning from 5th century BCE to 3rd century CE. It is named after the famous Sangam academies of poets and scholars centered in the city of Madurai. The term Pillai in modern day Tamil means son. However, during the Sangam age, it was used to refer to students. Consider the following rivers: Indus, Brahmaputra, Ganga, Godavari. Which among the following is the correct decreasing order of the above rivers in terms of their length? So Indus is 3,180 kilometers long, Brahmaputra is 3,848 kilometers long, Ganga is 2,525 kilometers long, and Godavari is 1,465 kilometers long. So in terms of decreasing order of length, it should be 2, 1, 3, 4, which means first it's Brahmaputra, which is the longest, followed by Indus, then Ganga, and finally Godavari. India's first Nobel Prize for Physics was claimed in 1930 by the renowned physicist Sir C.V. Raman for his work in which among the following fields? The correct answer is optics. In 1930, C.V. Raman became the first person from Asia to be awarded a Nobel Prize in any field of science. The date of discovery was February 28th, which is now celebrated as National Science Day in India. Which among the following was the main center of activity of Mother Teresa, where she served the cause of dying destitute lepers and drug addicts? The correct answer is Nirmal Hriday. Kalighat, the home of Nirmal Hriday or Pure Heart, is a home for the sick, destitute and the dying established by Saint Mother Teresa in Kalighat, Kolkata, India. Chandrasekhar limit postulated by Dr. S. Chandrasekhar posts a limit of mass on which among the following? The correct answer is white dwarf. In 1931, the astrophysicist Subramanian Chandrasekhar theorized that a star would not form a stable white dwarf at the end of its life if its mass was greater than 1.44 times the solar mass. This is known as the Chandrasekhar limit, above which the white dwarf will explode as what is called a Type 1a supernova. This work fetched him the Nobel Prize in 1983. How many Prime Ministers of India have been awarded Bharat Ratna till date? So far, 7 Prime Ministers of India have been awarded the Bharat Ratna. Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the 7th Prime Minister to receive the award. After Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Morarji Desai, Lal Bahadur Shastri and Gulzarilal Nanda. Who among the following was the first chairman of UPSC? The first chairman of UPSC was Sir Ross Barker. First Public Service Commission was established on 1st October 1926 under the chairmanship of Sir Ross Barker. UPSC's constitutional body which conducts the prestigious civil services examination to select the IAS, IFS and IPS officers among others. It has been established under Article 315 of the Constitution and consists of a chairman and 10 members, appointed and removed by the President. The chairman and members of the commission hold office for a term of 6 years or until they attain the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was sworn in as India's Prime Minister for how many times? The correct answer is 3 times. His 3 terms were 6th May 1996 to 1st June 1996, 19th March 1998 to 13th October 1999 and 13th October 1999 to 22nd May 2004. before its name was shortened by the British into United Provinces in 1935, by which among the following names modern Uttar Pradesh was known? The correct answer is the United Provinces of Agra and Oudh, which was a province of India under the British Raj, which existed from 1902 to 1947. The official name was shortened by the Government of India Act 1935 to United Province or UP, by which the province has been commonly known, and by which name it was also a province of independent India until 1950. It corresponds to approximately the present-day Indian states of Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In which among the following years a new liberalized industrial policy in India was announced for the first time? The correct answer is 1991. The economic liberalization in India refers to the changes and reforms initiated in 1991 of the country's economic policies with the goal of making the economy more market and service oriented and expanding the role of private and foreign investment. In which among the following years the MRTP Act became effective? On the basis of recommendation of the Dutt Committee, MRTP Act was enacted in 1969 to ensure that the concentration of economic power in hands of few rich. The act was there to prohibit monopolistic and restrictive trade practices. The Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act or MRTP was passed by Parliament of India on 18 December 1969 and got President's assent on December 27, 1969, but it only came into force on June 1, 1970. In the industrial policy of 1991, how many industries were reserved only for public sector? On July 24, 1991, Government of India announced its new industrial policy with an aim to correct the distortion and weakness of the industrial structure of the country that had developed in 4 decades, raising industrial efficiency to international level and accelerating industrial growth. The number of industries reserved for public sector was reduced from 17 as per the 1956 policy to only 8 industries, that is arms and ammunition, atomic energy, coal, mineral oil, mining of iron ore, manganese ore, gold, silver, mining of copper, lead, zinc, atomic minerals and railways. Currently, only 2 categories from the above are still reserved, which are atomic energy and railways. In an oligopolistic or monopolistically competitive market, firms do not raise their prices because even a small price increase will lose many customers. Which among the following is the most suitable term for this concept? So the correct answer is kink demand. Kink demand is an economic theory regarding oligopoly and monopolistic competition. It was an initial attempt to explain sticky prices, that is, prices that do not change. Which among the following was not a reason behind India's poverty, as pointed out by Dadabhai Naoroji in his famous work Poverty and Un-British Rule in India? The correct answer is India's population growth. In his work, he did not accept that the Indian poverty was due to overpopulation or the interplay of some economic laws, as was publicized by the British. Which among the following was the first deep water block in India to start production? In April 2009, Reliance Industries Limited had started pumping natural gas from its D6 block in the Krishna Godavari basin, and D6 was the first deep water block in India to start production. So the correct answer is Krishna Godavari D6. Which among the following represents a decrease in the owner's equity? The correct answer is redemption of debentures. So, debenture is one of the capital market instruments which is used to raise medium or long-term funds from public. It is essentially a debt instrument that acknowledges a loan to the company and is executed under common seal of the company. So, when debentures are to be redeemed at their face value, they are said to be redeemable at par. They are redeemable at premium or discount as well. Which among the following will be a debit entry in India's balance of payments? The correct answer is income of Indian investments abroad. The balance of international payments or balance of payments refers to the systematic and summary record of a country's economic and financial transactions with the rest of the world over a period of time. Yashaswini Rural Healthcare Scheme is being implemented in which among the following states of India? This is a cooperative farmers healthcare scheme which offers health insurance coverage to tenant farmers or peasants who are members of cooperative societies in Karnataka. Which among the following states of India is running the Dhanantari Yojana in the healthcare sector? The correct answer is Madhya Pradesh. Which of the following courts can you approach to file a writ petition to protect your fundamental rights? 1. Supreme Court, 2. High Courts, 3. District Courts, 4. Session Courts. Select the correct option from courts given. So, anything that is issued under an authority is a writ. Orders, warrants, directions, etc. issued under authority are examples of writs. There are 5 major types of writs: habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. Each of them has different meaning and different implications. In India, both Supreme Court and High Court have been empowered with writ jurisdiction. So our correct answer becomes 1 and 2, which is option B. Further, Parliament by law can extend power to issue writs to any other courts, including local courts, for local limits of jurisdiction of such courts. All revenues received by the Government of India by taxes like income tax, central excise, customs and other receipts are kept in which among the following? The correct answer is Consolidated Fund of India. Consolidated Fund of India is the most important of all government accounts. Revenues received by the government and expenses made by it, excluding the exceptional items, are part of it. This fund was constituted under Article 266(1) of the Constitution of India. Approval of which among the following authorities alone would be sufficient to draw funds from Consolidated Fund of India? So Consolidated Fund is the chief account of Indian government. This fund has the income from tax and non-tax revenues. Money for the expenditure of government is withdrawn from this fund, and withdrawing money from this fund requires the approval of the Parliament. Contingency fund has a fixed deposit of rupees 500 crore. Transactions relate to debt other than those included in the Consolidated Fund of India are kept in which among the following? So anything which is not included in the Consolidated Fund of India, where is it kept? The correct answer is public account. The public account is constituted under Article 266(2) of the Constitution. All other public monies which are not covered under Consolidated Fund of India received by or on behalf of the Government of India are credited to the public account of India. Till now, how many judges of Supreme Court of India have been removed from office through impeachment? None of our judges have ever been removed by impeachment. Which among the following language is not there in the 8th schedule of Constitution of India? So the languages that are there in the 8th schedule are Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Santhali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu and Urdu. So the one that is missing here is Rajasthani. The correct answer is Rajasthani. How many members can be nominated by the President to Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha respectively? The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 552 members, of which 530 are elected from states, 20 are elected from union territories and 2 are nominated by the President from Anglo-Indian community if the President thinks that the community has not been adequately represented in the House. Representation of the Anglo-Indian community is provided by the Constitution as per Article 331 and not by Article 81. Article 331 states, notwithstanding anything in Article 81, the President may, if he is of the opinion that the Anglo-Indian community is not adequately represented in the House of People, Nominate not more than 2 members of the community to the House of the People. So the correct answer is 12 and 2. A bill initiated by which among the following is a government bill? If a bill is introduced in the House by a minister, it is a government bill or public bill. If the bill is introduced by any other member than a minister, it is called a private member bill. A private member bill can be introduced by both ruling party and opposition MPs. Each House of Parliament collectively and the members individually enjoy certain powers and privileges without which they cannot discharge their functions efficiently and effectively. These privileges have been provided by, and the correct answer is the Constitution. The Constitution provides every required privilege that a member of either house needs to perform their duties. In which year Rajya Sabha was established? Rajya Sabha was established in the year 1952. 13th May 1952 is remembered with pride and joy as the newly constituted Council of States sat together for the first time. This second chamber of Parliament of India was later named as the Rajya Sabha on 23rd August 1954. ASHA is a Government of India scheme related to which among the following flagship programs? ASHA, or Accelerated Social Health Activist, is a trained female community health activist as a key component of the National Rural Health Mission under National Health Mission. She is selected from the village itself and works as a link between community and public health system. In which year India launched its Look East policy? India's Look East policy was for the first time pursued by Narasimha Rao government in 1992. Under this policy, India focused its attention towards Southeast Asia, which was long neglected during the Cold War period. This policy was further cemented by successive prime ministers and now has been converted into Act East policy by the current government. Which among the following is not a function of commercial bank in India? Function of commercial banks in India include accepting deposits, demand deposits, fixed deposits or time deposits, saving bank deposits, etc. However, National Savings Certificate is an Indian government savings bond primarily used for small savings and income tax saving investments in India, which are handled by post offices. Which among the following does not partner in Bharat Nirman? Bharat Nirman is a time-bound plan for rural infrastructure by the Government of India in partnership with state governments and Panchayat Raj institutions. It was launched in 2005. It has 6 components: water, roads, electricity, housing, irrigation, and telephone connectivity. Private entrepreneurs do not take part in it. Department of Disinvestment comes under which among the following ministries? The Department of Disinvestment has been renamed as Department of Investment and Public Asset Management or DPAM, a decision aimed at proper management of centre's investments in equity, including its disinvestment in central public sector undertakings. It is managed by the Ministry of Finance. Which among the following are the 2 states of India where thorium is found in good quantities? The correct answer is Kerala and Rajasthan. India has one of the largest supplies of thorium in the world with comparatively poor quantities of uranium. India has projected meeting as much as 30% of its electrical demands through thorium by 2050. Consider the following: 1. Individual moneylenders, 2. Cooperative banks, 3. Primary agri-credit societies. Which among the following are parts of Indian money market? The correct answer is all of them. Money markets are those markets where borrowing and lending of short-term funds as short as maturity of 1 day to 1 year takes place. Due to short maturity, the instruments of money market are liquid and can be converted to cash easily, thus are able to address the needs of short-term surplus fund of the lenders and short-term borrowing requirements of the borrowers. The interest rates get determined in the money markets, and these markets are divided into unorganized sector and organized sector. The unorganized market is old indigenous market, which includes indigenous bankers, moneylenders, etc. Organized markets include government, central and state, discount and finance house of India, mutual funds, corporate, commercial and cooperative banks, public sector undertakings, insurance companies, and financial institutions and non-banking financial companies. Organized money market is regulated by RBI as well as SEBI. Which among the following is used by Reserve Bank of India for sterilization of capital inflow? The correct answer is open market operations. Open market operations refer to the purchase and sale of government securities or GSECs by RBI from or to market. The objective of open market operations is to adjust the rupee liquidity conditions in the economy on a durable basis. When RBI sells government security in the market, the banks purchase them. When the banks purchase government securities, they have a reduced ability to lend to the industrial houses or other commercial sectors. This reduced surplus cash contracts the rupee liquidity and consequently credit supply. When RBI purchases the securities, the commercial banks find them with more surplus cash, and this would create more credit in the system. Thus, in the case of excess liquidity, RBI resorts to sale of GSECs to suck out rupee from the system. Similarly, when there is a liquidity crunch in the economy, RBI buys securities from the market, thereby releasing liquidity. Asset Reconstruction Company of India or ARCIL has been launched to deal with primarily non-performing assets. A non-performing asset or NPA refers to a classification for loans or advances that are in default or are in arrears on scheduled payments of principal of interest. In most cases, debt is classified as non-performing when low payments have not been made for a period of 90 days. While 90 days of non-payment is the standard, the amount of elapsed time may be shorter or longer depending on the terms and conditions of each loan. Which among the following is not a must condition for a scheduled commercial bank in India? The scheduled commercial banks are those banks which are included in the second schedule of RBI Act 1934 and which carry out the normal business of banking such as accepting deposits, giving out loans and other banking services. The major difference between scheduled commercial banks and scheduled cooperative banks is their holding pattern. Since cooperative are registered under the Cooperative Societies Act as cooperative credit institutions. Minimum paid up capital to set up scheduled commercial bank is rupees 5 lakh. So the option 2 that its paid up capital should at least be rupees 1 crore is not true. Anatolia is a part of which among the following continents? The correct answer is Asia. Anatolia or Asia Minor constitutes the central part of Turkey. It is bounded by the Taurus Mountains in the south, the Black Sea in the north, and the Aegean Sea in the west, while the eastern boundary is formed by the Mount Arat and Armenian Knot. Anatolia is a plateau having undulating topography, and the national capital of Turkey, or Ankara, is located in its central part. Ozone layer is found in which of the following? The correct answer is stratosphere. The ozone layer is a region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation that may cause skin cancer. It contains high concentration of ozone in relation to other parts of the atmosphere. Stratospheric ozone is not harmful, but its presence on land is harmful. How many members of Rajya Sabha are nominated by the President of India? The correct answer is 12. Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament which represents the states and union territories. Its membership is fixed to maximum 250 members, of which 238 are elected by the representative of states and union territories, while 12 members are nominated by President on account of their excellence in literature, science, art or social service. The law created by a legislature is called legislation or statutory law. Whether a given bill will be proposed and is generally a matter of legislative priorities of the government, and once the bill is passed, it becomes a statutory or legislative law. When was Guru Nanak born? Guru Nanak was born on 20th October 1469. So the correct answer is option A, and this day is still celebrated as Prakash Divas. How many types of emergencies are there in the Constitution of India? There are 3 types of emergencies defined in the Constitution of India. These are national emergency, state emergency, and financial emergency. They are mentioned in the Part 18 of the Indian Constitution, which deals with emergency provisions. Kohinoor diamond was found probably from which among the following mines? The correct answer is Golconda. The Golconda diamonds are Indian diamonds mined in a specific geographic area within the historic Golconda Sultanate, which is in present-day Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Diamonds from these mines were transported to the city of Hyderabad to be cut, polished, evaluated and sold well within the 19th century. Who among the following was the first to adapt a new religion propounded by Akbar called Din-e-Ilahi? Din-e-Ilahi was an eclectic doctrine that contained elements from very diverse fields. It overthrew almost every ceremonial rule, whether Islam or any other, but took the good ideas from the Brahmins as well as from the missionaries and adopted sun as a symbol of the worship of the Creator. He started a new Ilahi era. The new cult was immediately professed by a small band of the courtiers of Akbar, including Faizi, Abul Fazl, Birbal, and a few others. The first one to embrace it was Birbal. Consider the following: 1. Conservation of soil, water, and biodiversity. 2. Improve rural roads and bridges. 3. Gap the rural-urban divide. Which among the following are the objectives or functions of Rural Infrastructure Debt Fund? All of these are functions of this particular fund. In economy, the Gini coefficient deals with which among the following? Gini coefficient represents the income distribution of a country's residents, so it deals with distribution of wealth. It was developed by the Italian statistician and sociologist Corrado Gini. It measures the inequality. The coefficient ranges from 0 to 1, with 0 representing perfect equality and 1 showing perfect inequality. The higher is the Gini coefficient, more is the gap between rich and poor in the country. If the value of Gini coefficient is 1, it implies that all wealth of the country belongs to one person and everybody else is poor. The zero value of the Gini coefficient implies that all people have exactly equal wealth. Practically, the Gini coefficient value falls between 0 and 1 for all countries. Which among the following ruler is known for Junagar rock inscription? The correct answer is Rudradaman I. The Junagar rock inscription of Rudradaman is considered as an early example of chaste Sanskrit written in mid-2nd century AD. It mentions that one of Chandragupta Maurya's governors, Pushyagupta, was responsible for building a dam on Sudarshana Lake near Girnar in Kathiawar. From another inscription of Skandagupta, we came to know that this very dam was repaired during his reign almost 800 years after it was built. Which among the following countries have Vikram Sambat as official calendar? The correct answer is only Nepal. Vikram Sambat, also called the Bikrami calendar or sometimes just Hindu calendar, is the historical Hindu calendar of India and Nepal. It uses lunar months and solar sidereal years. It is the official calendar of Nepal. After the victory on which among the following the Vikrama Sambat was founded by the Tur Rajput Emperor Vikramaditya of Ujjain? The correct answer is Shakas. In the colonial era, it was believed to be based on the commemoration of King Vikramaditya expelling the Shakas from Ujjain. However, later epigraphical evidence and scholarship suggests that this theory has no historical basis and very likely was an error. Starting in the 9th century and thereafter, epigraphical artwork uses Vikrama Samvat, suggesting that sometime around the 9th century, the Hindu calendar era that was already in use became popular as Vikram Samvat, while Buddhist and the Jain epigraphy continued to use an era based on the Buddha or the Mahavira. Ghazi Malik was the founder and first ruler of which among the following dynasties? Ghazi Malik or Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the founder of Tughlaq dynasty in India. He reigned over the Sultanate of Delhi between 1320 to 1325 AD. He founded the city of Tughlaqabad. His reign was cut short after 5 years when he died under mysterious circumstances in 1325. He was succeeded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. In which of the following years Akbar had centralized the control and functioning of various mints? The correct answer is 1570. Akbar was the central of all power in his administration, civil, judicial, military and religious. He was the supreme commander of the army. He established a centralized administration. All appointments, promotions or dismissals depended on his decisions and orders. Usually he ruled according to Shariat or Islamic law. The construction of the Delhi Iron Pillar, now located at the Quwwatul Islam Mosque in New Delhi, was constructed in which period? As per Natya Darpan or Vishak Data, the iron pillar had been put up by Chandragupta II himself after defeating Vailakas. He designated that pillar as a memory of the victory. The correct answer therefore is Gupta's. The pillar is made of 98% wrought iron and has stood more than 1600 years without rusting or decomposing. The name of which among the following king of Hellenistic Seleucid kingdom has been inscribed on the edicts of Ashoka? The correct answer is Antiochus II Theos. Ashoka's Hellenistic contemporaries are Antiochus II Theos of Syria, Ptolemy II Philadelphus of Egypt, Magus of Sain, Antigonus Gonatas of Macedonia, and Alexander of Epirus. Tholi hills, which have major edicts of Ashoka engraved on a mass rock by the side of a road leading to the summit of the hills, are located in which among the following states of India? The Dholgiri hills are famous for the Shanti Stup or peace monument first constructed by the great Emperor Ashok as a mark of Buddhist message for worldwide peace. It's in Orissa. In which among the following battles artillery was used for the first time? The answer is the First Battle of Panipat. The First Battle of Panipat was fought on April 21, 1526 between the invading forces of Babur and the Lodi kingdom. It took place in North India and marked the beginning of Mughal Empire and the end of the Delhi Sultanate. This was one of the earliest battles involving gunpowder, firearms and field artillery in the Indian subcontinent, which were introduced by Mughals in this battle. Indus Valley site at Surkotada is located in which among the following states? The correct answer is Gujarat. It is located 160 km northeast of Bhuj in the district of Kutch in Gujarat. In the Indus Valley civilization, the remains of horse bones have been found at this site. The Indian Institute of Horticulture Research is located at which among the following places? The Indian Institute of Horticulture Research is an autonomous organization acting as a nodal agency for basic, strategic, anticipatory and applied research on various aspects of horticulture such as fruits, vegetable, ornamental, medicinal and aromatic plants and mushrooms in India. It's located in Bangalore or Bengaluru, Karnataka. At which among the following places the Central Institute for Subtropical Horticulture is located? The Central Institute of Subtropical Horticulture was started as Central Mango Research Station on 4th September 1972 under the aegis of the Indian Institute of Horticultural Research, Bangalore. Renamed as Central Institute for Subtropical Horticulture on June 14, 1995, it is serving the nation on different aspects of research on mandated subtropical fruits. It has two experimental farms, one at Ramankhera, approximately 25 kilometers away from the city, and the other at Rai Bareli Road in the city of Lucknow. At which among the following places National Research Centre for Citrus is located? The National Research Centre for Citrus is an institute for research in citrus fruits and horticulture in India. It is located at Nagpur in the state of Maharashtra, which has been famous for mandarin oranges. National Research Centre for Grapes is located at which among the following places? The National Research Centre for Grapes under Indian Council of Agricultural Research, New Delhi, was established on 18 January 1997 at Manjari in Pune. It has the following mandate: strategic and applied research on safe grape production and productivity, transfer of technology and capacity building of stakeholders for enhanced and sustained production of grapes, national referral laboratory for food safety and pesticide residue in fruits. National Research Centre for Banana is located at The National Research Centre for Banana was established on 21st August 1993 at Tiruchirappalli or Trichy, Tamil Nadu by ICAR New Delhi with an aim to increase the production and productivity of banana and plantains through mission mode basic and strategic research approaches. National Research Centre for Lychee is located at which among the following places? The National Research Centre on Lychee was established on 6 June 2001 at the fag end of 9th Plan by Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India under the aegis of Indian Council of Agricultural Research to act as nodal institution for research and development on lychee in India in a mission mode approach. It is located in Muzaffarpur, Bihar. All India Coordinated Research Project on Tropical Fruit is located at which among the following places? All India Coordinated Research Project on Tropical Fruit is a landmark in the history of agricultural research and was extended to fruit crops by the ICAR during the fourth five-year plan between 1969 and 1974 on July 31st, 1971. It's in Bangalore. All India Coordinated Research Project on Subtropical Fruits is located at which among the following places? All India Coordinated Research Project on Subtropical Fruits, which includes mango, guava, lychee and other ad hoc fruit schemes, is a part of Central Institute for Subtropical Horticulture, Lucknow. Carnal burnt affects which among the following cereal crops? Carnal burnt is a fungal disease of wheat, durum wheat and triticale, so it affects wheat. As per Vedic rituals, which among the following is the divine messenger who receives the prayers and conveys them to heavenly spheres? The correct answer is Agni. In Vedic literature, Agni is a major and often invoked god along with Indra and Soma. Agni is considered the mouth of the gods and goddesses and the medium that conveys offerings to them in a yoga. This triple presence connects him as the messenger between gods and human beings in the Vedic thoughts. As per the Hindu philosophy, what is the number of articles under the restraints and practices or yamas and niyamas? The yamas and niyamas are yoga's ethical guideline laid out in the first two limbs of Patanjali's Eightfold Path. Simply put, the yamas are things not to do or restraints, while the niyamas are things to do or observances. Together, they form a moral code of conduct. The correct answer is 20. Who among the following was the first ruler of Sain dynasty? The Sain Empire was a Hindu dynasty during the late classical period on the Indian subcontinent that ruled from Bengal through the 11th and 12th centuries. The empire at its peak covered much of northeastern region of the Indian subcontinent. The rulers of the Sain dynasty traced their origin to the South Indian region of Karnataka. Their first ruler was Samanta Sen. Who among the following was the first famous powerful king of Sen dynasty? The Sen dynasty's founder was Samanta Sen. He is the most renowned ruler of this dynasty. After him came Hemanta Sen, who usurped power and styled himself king in 1095 AD. Vikrampur and Vijaypuri were two capitals of which among the following kings of the Sen dynasty? The correct answer is Vijay Sen. Vijay Sen was the son of Hemanta Sen and succeeded him as a Sen dynasty ruler of Bengal region of the Indian subcontinent. He conquered Bengal fighting the kings of Gauda, Kamrupa and Kalinga. He had a capital in Vijaypuri and Vikrampur. Who among the following was the founder of Gahadwala dynasty? The correct answer is Chandradev. The Gahadwala dynasty or Gaharwar was a Hindu and Buddhist Indian dynasty that ruled the kingdom of Kannauj for approximately 100 years beginning in the late 11th century. The founder of Kannauj, Gahadwala dynasty, was Chandradev, who took control of Kannauj at the end of 11th century approximately around 1090 AD. During the rule of his successor Govinda Chandra from 1114 to 1154 AD, the state of Gardwala reached the pinnacle of its power. His minister Lakshmidhara was the author of several legal works including Kalpadrum. In which among the following battles Jayachandra was defeated and killed by Muhammad Ghori? The correct answer is Battle of Chandavar. The Battle of Chandwar was fought between Muhammad Ghori and Jayachand of Kannauj of the Gardwala dynasty. It took place at Chandwar on the Yamuna river close to Agra. Jayachand was defeated, giving Muhammad control of much of northern India. The battle was fought on the banks of river Yamuna very close to Agra. Sri Harsha was a court poet of which among the following Gardwala kings? Sri Harsha was a 12th century Sanskrit poet from India. His father Srihara was a poet in the court of Gardwala king Vijayachandra. Sri Harsha composed the poem Naisadha Charitra in 1174 during the reign of Vijayachandra's son Jayachandra. So the correct answer is Jayachandra. According to Rajshekhar's Prabandhakos, upon the wide acceptance of Naisadha Charita, Sri Harsha was dignified with the title of Narabharati. Which among the following kings constructed the Ocean Temple of Rajasthan? Ocean is an ancient town located in the Jodhpur district of Rajasthan state in western India. It is an oasis in the Thar desert and has been known as Khajuraho of Rajasthan for its temples. Ocean is famous as home to cluster of ruined Brahmanical and Jain temples dating from 8th to 11th century. The city was a major religious center of the kingdom of Marwar during the Gurjar Pratihara dynasty. So the correct answer is Pratihara. Rajshekhara, the eminent Sanskrit poet, dramatist and critic who is best known for his work Kavya Mimamsa, was a court poet of which among the following kings of Gurjara Pratiharas? The correct answer is Mahendrapal I. He was an eminent Sanskrit poet, dramatist and critic and the court poet of Mahendrapal I of Gurjara Pratiharas. Where on the earth is the Sirohi Point located? The correct answer is Antarctica. The Sirohi Point is the first point where an Indian set foot on Antarctica as a part of a research team of United States Antarctic Research Program or USARP. He had researched in biology. By he, I mean Giriraj Singh Sirohi, who was the first person to set foot on that region. He had researched in biology at McMurdo Station 1960-61 for 100 days at sub-zero temperatures, and the point was named after him by the US government later. Which of the following rivers of India originate in Tibet? 1. Satluj River, 2. Indus River, 3. Ghagra River. Select the correct option from the codes given below. So the correct answer is all three. All of these three rivers originate in Tibet. Ghagra is a transboundary perennial river originating on the Tibetan Plateau near Lake Mansarovar. It cuts through the Himalayas in Nepal and joins the Sardar River at Brahma Ghat in India. Indus River, originating in the Tibetan Plateau of western China, in the vicinity of Lake Mansarovar in Tibet Autonomous Region, the river runs a course through the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir and then enters Pakistan via northern areas of Gilgit-Baltistan, flowing through the north in a southerly direction along the entire length of Pakistan to merge into the Arabian Sea near the port city of Karachi in Sindh. Satluj River, the longest of five rivers that flow through the historic crossroad region of Punjab in northern India and Pakistan, originates near Lake Rakshastal in Tibet near Mount Kailash, and it flows generally west and southwest, entering India through the Shipki La Pass in Himachal Pradesh. Which among the following is formed by the process of lithification? Lithification gives rise to sedimentary rocks. Out of these, only feldspar is a sedimentary rock, hence it's the correct answer. Which among the following natural satellites of our solar system is smaller than the moon? The correct answer is Europa. Europa is the smallest of the four Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter and the sixth closest to the planet. It is also the sixth largest moon in the solar system. Europa was discovered in 1610 by Galileo Galilei and was named after Europa, the mythological mother of King Minos of Crete and the lover of Zeus. Which among the following soil is predominantly found in Rar region of West Bengal? Rar is the region that intervenes between the Vajrabhumi and the Ganges Delta. Parts of the districts Murshidabad, Birbhum, Bankura, Purva Bardhaman, Paschim Bardhaman, Purva Medinipur, Paschim Medinipur constitute this region. The region is about 50 to 100 meters and this area is covered in predominantly red soil. Consider the following statements. 1. Maharashtra is the sole producer of corundum in India. 2. Ruby and platinum group of metals are produced only in Orissa. Which among the above statements are correct? Both 1 and 2 are correct. Maharashtra is in fact the sole producer of corundum and is the second largest producer of manganese ore after Orissa. The principal mineral bearing belts in Maharashtra are Vidarbha area in the east and Konkan area in the west. Orissa hosts country's sole resources of ruby and platinum group of metals. The Cabo Razi, which is famous for Cabo Razi National Park, is a border tri-point between which among the following countries? Cabo Razi is believed to be Myanmar's highest mountain with its height of 5,881 meters and the probable highest mountains in Southeast Asia. It is located in the northern Myanmar state of Kachin in an outlying subrange of the Greater Himalayan mountain system near the border tri-point with India and China. So the correct answer is India, China, Myanmar. Consider the following. 1. Quartzite, 2. gneiss, 3. schists. Which among the above are called metamorphic rocks? The correct answer is all 3. Quartzite is a hard metamorphic rock which was originally sandstone. Sandstone is converted into quartzite through heating and pressure, usually related to tectonic compression within orogenic belts. Gneiss is a common and widely distributed type of rock formed by high-grade regional metamorphic processes from pre-existing formations that were originally either igneous or sedimentary rocks. The schist form a group of medium-grade metamorphic rocks, chiefly notable for the preponderance of lamellar minerals such as micas, chlorite, talc, hornblende, graphite and others. The channel that separates Lakshadweep Island and the Maluku Atoll is known as which among the following? The correct answer is 9-degree channel. 9-degree channel separates Lakshadweep Islands and Maluku Atoll. 10-degree channel separates Andaman Islands from Nicobar Islands. Which among the following is a treeless biome? The correct answer is tundra. Tundra is characterized by treeless low vegetation which is less than 1 meter in height with short perennials and frozen water. Typical plants include sedges, lichens, mosses, grasses and dwarf woody plants. Typical animals include snowy owls, muskox, reindeer, polar bears and migrant birds. Consider the following. 1. Central government. 2. State government. Which among the above can levy taxes on agricultural revenues? By default, agricultural income is exempted from taxation and not included under total income. The central government can't impose or levy tax on agricultural income. The exemption clause is mentioned under Section 10(1) of the Income Tax Act of 1961. However, the state government can charge agricultural tax. As of the latest amendment, income of agriculture, if within Rupees 50,000 in a financial year, will not be accounted for tax purposes. Anything above that will be taxable as per the applicable rates. So the correct answer is only 2 state governments. If President and Vice President both are unavailable, who among the following would discharge the functions? The correct answer is Chief Justice of India. The President Discharge of Functions Act 1969 of India provides that the Chief Justice of India shall act as the President of India in the event of the offices of both the President and the Vice President being vacant. When President Zakir Hussain died in office, the Vice President V.V. Giri acted as the President. Later, Mr. Giri resigned as the Vice President and the CJI Justice Muhammad Hidayatullah then became the acting President of India. As per the convention, the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court then became the acting CJI. When the newly elected president took office, a month later, Justice Hidayatullah reverted as the Chief Justice of India. What can be the maximum number of members of the Lok Sabha? Lok Sabha is the lower house of the parliament which represents people. Article 81 deals with the composition of the Lok Sabha and the maximum strength of the Lok Sabha is 552 members. So option C is the correct answer. Among this, 530 are elected from states, 20 are elected from union territories, and 2 are nominated by the president from the Anglo-Indian community if the president thinks that the community is not adequately represented in the house. Which among the following was the strength of the Lok Sabha after India's first general election? The Indian general election of 1951-52 was held from 25th October 1951 to 21st February 1952 and was the first election of the Lok Sabha since India became independent in August 1947. A total of 53 parties and 533 independents contested for the 489 seats in the Lok Sabha. So the correct answer is 489. In India, the parliament is made up of 1 Lok Sabha, 2 Rajya Sabha, 3 President, 4 Vice President and 5 Lok Sabha Speaker. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. That is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the President. So India has a bicameral parliament made up of President, Rajya Sabha or upper house or council of states and Lok Sabha or lower house or house of the people. While Rajya Sabha represents states and union territories, Lok Sabha represents people of India. For how many times a person can become the President of India? The correct answer is it has no limits. As per Article 57, the eligibility for re-election for the President is a person who holds or who has held office as President and is subject to all other provisions of the Constitution. He is eligible for re-election to the office. If the government of a state fails to enforce the directive principles of the state policy, a citizen can move to which among the following courts to file a writ petition to get them enforced? So directive principles of the state policy are non-justiciable in nature, which means courts cannot exercise their judicial authority to enforce them. So the correct answer is no court. Which among the following articles help the Madarsas in India to remain out of purview of the right to education? The correct answer is Article 30, which is called a Charter of Education Rights. Madrasas are administered by the Article 30 and Article 30 mandates that all minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. Article 30 provides an absolute right to linguistic and religious institutions and at the same time can also claim for grant and aid without any discrimination. New All India services can be initiated in India only if the following makes a recommendation. As per the Constitution of India, a new All India service can be instituted with only the initiative of the Rajya Sabha according to Article 312 of the Constitution. So the correct answer is Rajya Sabha. Which among the following industrial policies started in the process of full-scale liberalization and intensified the process of integration of India with the global economy? On July 24, 1991, Government of India announced its new industrial policy with an aim to correct the distortion and weakness of the industrial structure of the country that had developed in 4 decades, raise industrial efficiency to the international level and accelerate industrial growth. This is the new industrial policy of 1991. In which year Bretton Woods Agreement was signed? The Bretton Woods Agreement is the landmark system for monetary and exchange rate management established in 1944. It was developed at the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference held at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire from July 1st to July 22nd of 1944. In which year the International Finance Corporation or IFC was established? It was established in 1956. It is the largest multilateral source of loan and equity financing for private sector projects in the developing world. It promotes sustainable private sector development primarily by financing private sector projects and companies located in the developing world, helping private companies in the developing world mobilize financing in international financial markets, providing advice and technical assistance to businesses and governments. The IPRT provides loans to governments and public enterprises, always with a government or sovereign guarantee of repayment subject to general conditions. In which year the soft loan window of IBRD was established. A soft loan is a loan with a below market rate of interest. This is also known as soft financing. Sometimes soft loans provide other concessions to borrowers such as long repayment periods or interest holidays. Soft loans are usually provided by governments to projects they think that are worldwide. So, soft loan window of IBRD was established in 1960. In which 5-year plan the Panchayati Raj system was introduced in India for the first time. The institution of Panchayati Raj was inaugurated by Jawaharlal Nehru on October 2nd of 1959 in Nagaur district of Rajasthan. 9 days later, Andhra Pradesh became the second state to launch Panchayati Raj at Shadnagar near Hyderabad. The chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts is nominated by which among the following? The correct answer is Lok Sabha Speaker. Public Accounts Committee or PAC is one of the standing parliamentary committees which was first established in 1921 under the Government of India Act 1919 provisions. The committee examines the manners and results of spending the public fund. The Public Accounts Committee has 22 members, of which 15 are from Lok Sabha, while 7 are from Rajya Sabha. Which among the following country had proposed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty? The correct answer is Ireland. The Treaty on Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, which is also commonly known as NPT, is an international treaty whose objective is to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and weapons technology, to promote cooperation in the peaceful use of nuclear energy, and to further the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament and general and complete disarmament. Between 1965 and 1968, the treaty was negotiated by the 18-Nation Committee on Disarmament, a United Nations-sponsored organization based in Geneva, Switzerland. The Dag Hammarskjöld Library is part of which international body headquarters? The Dag Hammarskjöld Library is part of the United Nations headquarters and is connected to the Secretariat and Conference buildings through ground level and underground corridors. It is named after Dag Hammarskjöld, the second Secretary General of the United Nations. The library has 2 specialized major areas. Which among the following newspapers established by Mahatma Gandhi was an important tool for the political movement led by Gandhi and the Natal Indian Congress to fight racial discrimination and win civil rights for the Indian immigrant community in South Africa? The correct answer is Indian Opinion. It was a newspaper established by Gandhiji. The publication was an important tool for the political movement led by Gandhi and the Indian National Congress to fight racial discrimination and win civil rights for the Indian immigrant community in South Africa, and it existed between 1903 and 1915. Which among the following has the highest content of vitamin E of any food that has not undergone prior preparation of vitamin fortification? The correct answer is wheat germ oil. Wheat germ oil is a great source of vitamin E and is said to be a powerful antioxidant. Who among the following poets used to write the Urdu ghazals with the pen name Azad? The correct answer is Mirza Ghalib. His original name was Mirza Asadullah Beg Khan, but most of us know that Ghalib was his pen name. Before Ghalib, he wrote with the pen name Azad, which means a lion. He was honored with the title of Dabir-ul-Mulk by Bahadur Shah Zafar II. When another title, Mirza Nosha, was given to him, he came to be known as Mirza Ghalib. Which among the following is correct about B group vitamins? B vitamins are a class of water-soluble vitamins that play important roles in cell metabolism. Though these vitamins share similar names, they are chemically distinct compounds that often coexist in the same foods. In general, dietary supplements containing all 8 are referred to as vitamin B complex. So among these options, the correct answer is most of them are water soluble. A cotton wick dipped in pure honey when ignited with a matchstick will burn consistently. A cotton wick dipped in pure honey burns when ignited with a matchstick. If adulterated presence of water will not allow the honey to burn, it does produce a cracking sound. Clove is which part of the plant? Cloves are aromatic flower buds of a tree in the family Myrtaceae Syzygium aromaticum. They are native to the Maluku Islands or Moluccas in Indonesia and are commonly used as a spice. Which among the following is not taken into account while choosing the orbit of a satellite? The correct answer is mass of the satellite. It has no effect on planning where to put the satellite. The advantage of having a satellite in one orbit rather than another orbit usually depends on its inclination, that is, the angle at which a satellite's orbit is tilted in relation to the Earth's equator. When engineers are designing a satellite and designing its functions, they must choose an orbit that is appropriate to its function. Lightest and the most abundant chemical element, constituting roughly 75% of the universe's elemental mass, is hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, accounting for about 75% of its normal matter that was created in the Big Bang. Helium is an element usually in the form of a gas that consists of a nucleus of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So helium is the element next to hydrogen in the periodic table, and it is also abundant. However, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. How many pairs of ribs are there in a human body? There are 24 ribs or 12 pairs, out of which only 14 or 7 pairs are true ribs. You can see in the diagram there are 24 ribs. 1 to 7, the pairs 1 to 7 are labeled as true pair, while the rest are labeled as false ribs or floating ribs. So the correct answer is 12 pairs. Who started the process of decentralization of finances in India? The correct answer is Lord Mayo. Lord Mayo or Lord Nass served as the 4th Viceroy of India from 12 January 1869 to 8 February 1872. He started the process of decentralization of finance. In foreign affairs, he followed the policy of non-intervention. He opened up the Mayo College in Ajmer for educating children of the aristocratic families. India's census began during his tenure. He was the first Governor General to be murdered by Pathan Sher Ali in Port Blair while he was still in office. Consider the following. Wholesale price index number 1, number 2 consumer price index, number 3 national income deflator. Which among the above can be used to measure inflation? Many measures are available for measurement of inflation. For example, wholesale price index, that is option number 1, which is on a point-to-point basis and on average basis. Consumer price index, which is option number 2, or national income deflator, which is option 3. So clearly the answer is all 1, 2, 3. The availability of these indices also differ from weekly to quarterly. The basic premise for linking with inflation is to ensure a positive real rate of interest to the investors. Which among the following awards are given to recognize outstanding worldwide achievement in the field of tobacco control? The correct answer is Luther L. Terry Award. Named after the late United States Surgeon General Luther L. Terry, MD, whose groundbreaking work established the foundation for public health scrutiny of the dangers of tobacco use, the awards honor outstanding leadership and accomplishment and are synonymous with excellence and signify that the recipients are among the very best in the world at what they do. Potassium permanganate is used to purify water. Which among the following properties help it work? The correct answer is oxidizing. For example, oxidation of aromatic alkenes with potassium permanganate give carboxylic acids. Which among the following is a common salt in detergents? Modern fabric washing powders contain a number of chemical ingredients in various proportions. Powder detergents for washing clothes usually contain sodium sulfate simply to bulk up the product. So the correct answer is sulfate. Which among the following is a major component of gobar gas? It is primarily methane and carbon dioxide and may have small amounts of hydrogen sulfide, moisture and siloxanes. The gases methane, hydrogen and carbon dioxide can be combusted or oxidized with oxygen. So the correct answer is methane. Which among the following chemicals is used in photography? The correct answer is silver bromide. Silver bromide is a soft pale yellow water insoluble salt which is well known along with other silver halides for its unusual sensitivity to light. It is widely used in photographic films and is believed by some to have been used for making the Shroud of Turin. When sulfur is heated with rubber, the process is commonly known as vulcanization. Natural rubber becomes soft at high temperatures which are greater than 335 Kelvin and brittle at low temperatures, that is temperatures less than 283 Kelvin, and shows high water absorption capacity. It is soluble in non-polar solvents and is non-resistant to attack by oxidizing agents. To improve upon these physical properties, the process of vulcanization is carried out. This process consists of heating a mixture of raw rubber with sulfur and an appropriate additive at a temperature range between 373 to 415 Kelvin. On vulcanization, sulfur forms cross links at the reactive sites of the double bond and thus the rubber gets stiffened. In the manufacture of tire rubbers, 5% of sulfur is used as a cross-linking agent. Which among the following is a common end product of anaerobic respiration? The correct answer is lactic acid. When the body produces energy for exercise without oxygen, which is the definition of anaerobic respiration, there are two types of respirations that we need to know about. The immediate ATP-PC system and the lactic acid system. So the end product becomes lactic acid. PVC is a polymer of vinyl chloride. Polyvinyl chloride or PVC is made from the monomer vinyl chloride. It is used for making raincoats, handbags, toys, including dolls, electrical goods, and as a covering of electrical wires. Carnotite is a mineral of which among the following metals? Carnotite is a potassium uranium vanadate radioactive. The water content can vary and small amounts of calcium, barium, magnesium, iron and sodium are often present. So the correct answer is uranium. Which among the following judges is known for having pioneered the PIL or public interest litigation? The correct answer is Justice P.N. Bhagwati. Bhagwati began his career practicing at Bombay High Court. As a Supreme Court judge, Bhagwati introduced the concepts of public interest litigation and absolute liability to the Indian judicial system. He is therefore held, along with Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, to have pioneered judicial activism in the country. Which among the following amendments of Constitution of India had accorded precedence to directive principles over fundamental rights? The correct answer is 42nd Amendment. The 42nd Amendment to Constitution of India, officially known as the Constitution 42nd Amendment Act 1976, was enacted during the emergency between 25th June 1975 and 21st March 1977 by the Indian National Congress government headed by Indira Gandhi. It laid down the fundamental duties of Indian citizens to the nation. That's all for today's quiz. Until the next video, goodbye.